tonight. Larry, 30 laps of these wild USAC sprint cars. This ought to be a great show.
It certainly should. You know, they're going to be running all over the racetrack, top and bottom. So we'll see what happens.
Points leader J.J. Yaley on the pole in the 20. Boston Reed, young gun in that 2B, will line up alongside. Second row from Danville, Indiana, John Stanbro in the 57. Tony Elliott from Kokomo in car number 11. Row 3 from Val Verde, California, Jay Drake in the 67. And the cruiser from Ventura, California, one of Tony Stewart's cars. That's the 21 from Corey Cruiser. Bud Kading has the 29, starting inside the 4th row from Campbell, California. Tim Spindler in the 31 from Columbus, Indiana, heat race winner earlier. He'll line up in 8th spot. Going 9th, Rob Chaney from Millersburg, Ohio. That's the 9X. John Scott from Pittsboro, Indiana, in the 83 car. He's a transfer from the semi tonight. Tracy Hines from Newcastle, Indiana, in the 69. That's the Hoffman car. He starts inside row 6. And the wild child, Jack Houdenchild from Worcester, Ohio, has Steve Crispin's 25 car alongside. 7th row, Kevin Briscoe, the 21R. He is from Mitchell, Indiana, and Matt Westfall, heat race winner, Ludlow Falls, Ohio, the 54X. Row number 8, Matt Neely in the 17. Dave Garland from Lincoln, Indiana, in the 3AC, the DeSalle Motorsports machine. Levi Jones in the 39 starts inside the 9th row alongside Dickie Gaines in car number 7 from Mitchell, Indiana. The 10th row, Brian Hayden in the 2H. He's from Fillmore, Indiana. Jimmy Laser from Plainfield, Illinois, in the 8L. That is a blue race car. Ken Wolders lines up in the 1W from Tip City, Ohio. Critter Malone, shotgun on the field in the 97. He will start on the 11th row outside. Quickly to Dave Argerbright.
Tonight, Larry, you mentioned that you were formerly a driver for Paul Hazen in the 57 car. He runs that 57 because that's the year he started racing, 1957. And Larry, I'm not sure, but I don't think you were with him in 57. Is that right?
Right.
You're not old. You're just a pup, Mr. Rice. Take a ride with J.J. Yaley. We'll get to watch him back in the face camera from the front part of the roll cage. And J.J. will be hard at work here momentarily.
Well, he certainly will. We'll have a good view of how hard he does work in that thing. He's going to start right up front, which is a huge break for him. He was 7th quick, was supposed to start back in 7th, but one of the other cars did not transfer into the feature race, so he got a big break and gets to start right up front.
Jerry Coons Jr., one of the drivers who qualified well, didn't make the show. The track changes a lot. Qualifying time doesn't mean a lot at this point, does it?
No, I mean, it's great for your starting spot, but you've got to have your car set up for the racetrack the way it is now.
Green flag is out at Limaland. 30 laps to go. We're underway, and Yaley grabs the early lead, pulls the wheels down the backstretch.
Yeah, and I bet you he goes right straight to the top of the racetrack. That's where he really wants to run, and that's what he did. As soon as he got one corner on the bottom, he went right straight up to the top of the racetrack.
Tony Elliott right behind him. You can see that red and white number 11 there. He is chasing him hard. Elliott on the bottom wants the lead into 3.
Boy, he's running right through the middle of the racetrack and made the pass, running right in the middle of the racetrack where I didn't think he'd be able to run.
And look at Bud Kading on the move. Now remember, Kading wrecked in his heat race. He put the car back together. He qualified through the semi. Here he is headed to the front.
Wow, and that's Boston Reed, who just slid up in front, and now it looked like he was giving a little wave as he went back by.
Boston Reed took second momentarily. Yaley dumped to the bottom and got the spot back. Now here comes the car that's putting a move on, and the caution wave. One car stopped. Critter Malone stopping on the backstretch. Bud Kading and Boston Reed battling for second around Yaley. Critter Malone gets into the wall. He's broken some suspension pieces in there. Ready for green flag racing. We're back underway at Limaland. Elliott is your leader. You're riding with Yaley. Restarts second. Boston Reed. Bud Kading. And here comes Jay Drake on the high side to join the fun.
Looks like Yaley now has decided to go down to the bottom, as has Boston Reed. He goes down there too. And Tony Elliott continues to run right in the middle of the racetrack and pulls away by 5 or 6 car lengths.
Corey Cruzman up to 5th spot, and on the other Tony Stewart Mopar, the 21 car. But Tony Elliott with a great drive to the front early tonight.
But Katie runs right around the very bottom of the racetrack. Gets good traction down there, and he's been picking guys off one by one right around the bottom. There he goes around Boston Reed. Oh, Boston got into the wall just slightly as Katie...
Oh, one car bicycles it up into the wall. Is that Cruzman?
Yeah, it looks like Cruzman keeps on going, but he got hit up. Man, oh man, he got up on 2 wheels, banged into the fence, and just kept on gassing.
Took a lick and keeps on ticking here at Limaland. You can see Cruzman back on the throttle.
He's got that race car set up real loose, real soft, and that's one of the reasons that he got up there and kind of tagged the fence when he got that big rut.
Racing with Matt Westfall for position in the white 54. Tony Elliott in the red number 11 here is your leader. Yaley runs in second spot.
Look at Yaley.
Right up on him.
He didn't give up on that top groove. He stayed up on that top groove. Now that he's all over Elliott, as the middle of the groove is kind of wearing out a little bit.
Yaley for the lead, driving off the corner. Down into turn 1, J.J. Yaley is back out in front.
He's used the middle, he's used the top, he's used the bottom. He's run everywhere on the racetrack. And he used the bottom for the pass, but now that he goes right back up to the top.
Caution on the speedway. Dave Darland has spun between turns 1 and 2 in the Arctic Cat 3 AC. So the former national champion having problems tonight. This sprint car team for Darland just has not really found the level of success they expected.
Well, they've struggled a little bit here in the last few races, and I'm not sure exactly what the problem is, but he's been around long enough that they're going to figure it out, and they'll get going again.
No doubts about his driving ability. Former USAC national champion, won the midget main here just a short time ago tonight. 9 laps complete, 21 remain tonight at Limaland. Dick Jordan, the chief of the USAC News Bureau, providing us the lap count and some scoring help. The 17 of Matt Neely in trouble on the speedway. He has stopped up on the racetrack, so we'll have to get a push for the 17 car as well.
Yeah, you can see he's got his helmet off, so he's it's terminal. Whatever the problem is, it's terminal for him.
This is the place. You might have seen the highlights on Speed News 1 year ago during the Buckeye Nationals. J.J. Yaley won the sprint car main, cutting donuts, flipped the car at Victory Lane. One of the funniest things that happened all year.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before or since. I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about it either. So,
Dave Darland getting refire. They push the 3 car down the front straightaway. He'll roll it to the infield. We'll see if Dave will rejoin at the back of the pack. And the 17 car, Matt Neely from Robinson, Illinois, the Rhino Racing Lila Electric Twister. That's one of the Twister chassis that J.J. Yaley has helped popularize here in the last couple of months. And he had a Twister chassis a year ago that he really used to put a weapon on it.
Well, he's used that same chassis, same type of chassis for several years now. But it's only now that he's started whipping everybody time after time that everybody thought, well, maybe that's a pretty good idea.
Sometimes just a little difference in geometry in the front end or the rear end makes all the difference.
It doesn't take much. And of course, this is a monkey see, monkey do business. Whoever's winning, you're gonna buy one of those. That's got to be the answer.
21 to go. Green flag back in the air. Yaley brings him off turn 4. He is the restart leader. Tony Elliott second. He's got his hands full. Boston Reed goes to the bottom, as does Bud Kading.
You can see those guys came off there almost free abreast as Boston Reed now uses the bottom of the racetrack and moves into second and challenges for the lead.
Boston Reed in that Lucas Oil 2B. That's the blue and white machine. He's alongside Yaley down into 3. Watch J.J. twist that wheel.
You can see he's turning that thing right, left. He's doing everything to stay out in front. And this racetrack is not quite as smooth as it was earlier tonight. There goes Boston Reed. He has the lead.
He takes over the 2B. The drivers had a lot of inspiration and help from Jeff Gordon.
Boston Reed doing a terrific job as he moved to the bottom. He obviously got some adjustments to the shocks on those cars, and he obviously changed some stuff with the suspension during the yellow flag. And now that he's just using the bottom of the racetrack and blows by Yale.
Boston Reed grabs the top spot. Jay Drake up to 3rd in the 67, the Keith Coast car. He's running the high side. Stanbro is in 4th spot, 5th to Kading. Tony Elliott trying to get back into the chase. The drivers that were quick at the bottom of the first couple of laps have started to back up, and Boston Reed really coming on. Here's that battle. Stanbro in the 57, Kevin Briscoe in the 21. There's Elliott, who led a couple of laps. We are halfway.
Those guys back there battling top and bottom. Some on the top, some on the bottom, and still running. Stanbro down.
Oh, and Boston Reed spins out of the lead and keeps going. He did a 360, keeps it running, but gives up the lead.
Holy smokes. That's how difficult it is to run this racetrack and run it well on the bottom. Even when you're leading. Now then, that young man can't get overly excited and go out there and do something silly. He's already made one mistake. You don't want to compound that by making 2 or 3 more.
Remember, these cars don't have a clutch, don't have a gearbox you can shift. That was an impressive piece of driving to keep that thing running. And J.J. Yaley leading, hits a run and almost went upside down in turn 2. Boston Reed on the move there in the 2B. He's in third spot. Here's a look at what happened while he was leading, Larry.
He just got in the corner too hard, got on the throttle, and they just turned her around. He stayed on the throttle. Look at that. That was about as perfect a donut as you could do in Victory Lane, let alone out there during the feature race.
Got his first career USAC Sprint Car win at Eldora here earlier this season. That's where the Buckeye Nationals, the Mopar Buckeye Nationals, will finish up tomorrow night. Leader continues to be J.J. Yaley. Jay Drake is second in the 67.
Jay Drake, you'll catch him one lap and then he loses everything he gains the next. So it's very hard to do a perfect lap every time around there. So that's what these guys are trying to do, but it's awfully difficult.
Watching Yaley hard at work with dust, really a factor now as we're in the second half of this one. Yaley down into the corner. Jay Drake in second spot in the 67. John Stanbro is third in the 57, and Kevin Briscoe up to fourth in the 21. Boston Reed back to fifth after that 360. Take a look at the battle. Reed now up on the high side, trying to get fourth away from Briscoe.
Yeah, he was running that bottom so well, and then after he spun, it just never could get it going down there, so he had to move back to the top. Kevin Briscoe, meanwhile, he's using that bottom very well, as is John Stanbro.
Tracy Hines trying to come up from the back of the field in the Hoffman 69. Take a look at Reed in that 2B. Look at Briscoe. They're battling for fourth. Briscoe hooked up on the bottom, lifting the wheel as he comes off too.
See, Briscoe and Stanbro are doing the same thing. They're keeping the car very straight, and they don't even touch the throttle, so they get completely straight in the next straightaway. They lose a lot of ground right through the middle of the corner, but they get a lot of forward bite coming on.
5 laps to go for your leader, J.J. Yaley, in car number 20. It's lap 26 on the board. Second belongs to Jay Drake. Actually, John Stanbro now has gotten by Drake on the bottom. It's so dusty, it's pretty hard to see. Stanbro in that red and white car has made the move and gotten inside. 3 to go for Yaley.
Yaley's still hanging on up there. He's just walking away with those guys, but Stanbro is gaining on Yaley. He is gaining big time on Yaley.
It's really bad up at the high side now. JJ's trying to find some traction up there, but it's really bumpy, I think, up by the wall. They get the 2 to go.
It is bumpy, and it is dusty up there. John Stanbro running that bottom groove is just puttering around the inside. But when he comes off the corner, he gets this huge shot down the straightaway. White flag is out. Let's see if he can do it. Traffic coming up.
Last lap around this quarter-mile bull ring at Limaland. J.J. Yaley leading. He's got lap traffic in front of him. Stanbro on the bottom in the 57. For the win, it's Yaley. His 14th victory of the season in USAC national competition. His 6th sprint car win of the year adds to his point lead, and J.J. Yaley is your winner.
Well, John Stanbro did a terrific job running the bottom of that racetrack. J.J. Yaley did a great job running the top. 2 completely different places, 2 completely different styles, but they run 1-2 because they stuck with their plan and they ran the whole race right where they thought their race car should be running.
And how about a call for Kevin Briscoe in the 21? Came from 15th in the starting lineup to finish 3rd here tonight. Yaley picks up his 14th victory, closing in perhaps on that all-time national USAC mark. 19 is the record for national wins in a season. A.J. Foyt, 42 years ago in 1961. Sleepy Trip in 1988. Jay Drake just 2 years ago in 2001. J.J. now at 14 and counting, and we're not even to the end of June. So Yaley in victory lane, and I'll tell you, he's just put together a terrific season.
Yes, he has. And Kevin Briscoe, if he ever gets to start up front, he might be really tough. He came from back in the pack, I think 18th or 19th at Attica and ran second. So he's really done a lot of passing here in the last few nights.
J.J. Yaley in 30 laps, that's what, around a quarter-mile racetrack. That's about 7.5 miles, but boy, did he work up a sweat here tonight.
It's very difficult to run this place. I mean, it was rough, it was a little dusty, a little slick, so you had to work your rear end off.
Well, Tony Stewart will be getting a phone call shortly that his driver has landed in victory lane once again, Dave Argabright.
Well, he's finally starting to smile. Had a little bit of that grim game face on when he climbed out of the car. J.J., you ran the top group very, very well. Were you concerned late in the race when it began to go away?
I was a little bit. You know, by myself, I was really good, but as soon as I caught lap cars, they were throwing up a lot of loose material on the racetrack and was really making it difficult. You know, when Boston got ahead of me there, it was so dusty, I couldn't hardly see where I was going. I was, you know, driving around, I realized I was 10 foot from where I needed to be up on a cushion or what was up there anyway. So, you know, after he had his little bobble down there, I could see clear track again and got the thing up on the cushion, made a couple adjustments from the cockpit on the Penske shocks, and took them all apart in the front.
Could you have caught and passed Boston without his spin, do you think?
I don't know. It's going to be tough, you know.